Are you curious how your income stacks up to the average person in the United States? Well, we're going to go over 7 of the most important financial statistics of the average American. But just knowing these facts isn't going to make you better than the average American, so I'm going to be giving you a little bit of advice on each of these points as well. Alright, up first, the one that I'm sure you clicked on the video for, how much does the average American make in the United States? Well, the median amount that somebody makes in the United States is about $45,000. And if you want to break it down on a week level, it's around $865 per week, or about $21.63 per hour. Now, this doesn't sound bad, right? I mean, depending on your age and level of education, but I do want to say that this number doesn't mean much because there's people living in New York City and California that'll be watching this video that is saying, I would not be able to live on $45,000. And then there's people living in other places in the United States that think $45,000 sounds pretty darn good. So this one doesn't mean too much, but that can at least give us a baseline for the rest of the United States. So even though there's plenty of ways to beat the median salary in the United States, one of the ways you can do that is by getting a higher level of education, because people who graduate with a bachelor's degree have a median salary of around $59,000. And of course, the more money you make, the more money you could save, which brings us into point number 2. The average American only saves around 6% of their income. And as late as December of 2022, that percentage actually went down to 3.4%. With inflation and the way the world is going right now, it can be hard to save, but this number should be something that you're really trying to push forward if you want to be sound financially. Many of the resources on the internet say that you should be saving between 10 and 15% of your income. And the more you make, you should be saving more and more, not spending more and more. This way it helps you better prepare for your retirement, and you can actually afford the things you want to buy when you want to buy them. And speaking of retirement, a quarter of the people in the United States don't have any money saved for retirement at all. Now, this is a little bit concerning, but I think this is a point where you can really differentiate yourself from the average American. According to the Federal Reserve, those younger than 35, the median amount of money saved for retirement is $13,000. And of course, this is lower for those younger than 25 because they're just getting out of college or just starting their careers. The median for those individuals is $1,786. Now, this number goes up much higher the closer people get to retirement. For 35 to 44-year-old people in the United States, that number is around $60,000. But if you're 65 and you only have $164,000 saved for retirement, and you probably going to live on average about 15 to 20 more years after that, $164,000 is not a lot to get you through that time, especially trying to live comfortably. I understand not everybody's in a situation where they can start saving for retirement, but this is a point where you really need to stress and really need to try to start getting money into that retirement account. So now you have an idea about how much people make and how much they save, but how much do they spend on average? Again, especially if you're young, this is an area where you can differentiate yourself from your fellow peers, because the average household spends around $5,600 per month, which is around $67,000 per year, and that's on housing, food, and transportation. Of course, the most is going to be on housing, whether it's your rent or your mortgage payment, but that's quite a bit of money every single month. So if you can save in any of these areas, I think you're going to be doing yourself a favor in the long run. And speaking of spending, let's talk about credit cards, because I think credit cards can be very dangerous because the average household has around $9,260 in credit card debt. I'd be willing to bet that there's more people with that amount in credit card debt than there is with that amount in retirement savings. And we even saw from 2021 to 2022, there was a 15% increase in credit card debt across the United States. I will say this is a very hard time, and people have to make do with what they can, but this increase is very concerning to me, and I think a lot of people would benefit from chopping up those credit cards. If you're going to use one, use it responsibly and try to pay it off as soon as you use it. Now finally, what are these people worth? Well, the median net worth for those under 35, which that includes myself, that's $13,900. Now I'm using medians here because the average is going to be pulled way to the upside by those with a huge high net worth. But for those who are 55 to 64, the median net worth goes up to $212,500. Now net worth is basically just all of the things that you have in your name. So things like a house that's paid off or a car that's paid off, those all go into your net worth, the amount of money you have, minus all your expenses and things that you owe money on, so your debt. So what do you think about the average American's financial stats? Let me know down in the comments. And watch this video next because I think you'll really enjoy it. I'll see you over there.